Okay, this walk begins in a parking area on a quiet lane near the village of Maentwrog in North Wales. I describe it as a forest walk, but actually it's mainly in open countryside because of the extensive logging that's been done in previous years. Okay, begin the walk along the quiet lane going towards the village closer further on, but after a third of a mile I turned left and go onto a forest track which leaves the lane and gradually ascends as because of the, as I mentioned, the logging, have good views all around, especially overhead to the mountain of Moelwyn Bach. Continue gradually up, ascending, getting ever closer to the Moelwyn Bach until I reach the high point of the walk. And then once I reach the high point, I start descending through forest down to, continue on the forest track to gradually descend to a point where I decide to extend the walk by taking a left turn along another forest track, which to take a look at a lake. And once I reached the lake, I had a short break and then continued along the track, which was no longer really used as a forest track. It's still in quite good condition. I reached a little viewpoint, had a good view of the Vale of Llyn, continued along the track, and then had a good view then looking several hundred feet down into the mountain village of Maentwrog. Continue along the track, which ends about this point, goes into a footpath which then descends down to farmland and continues descending down to farmland. And eventually I take another little short diversion to have a look at the Llyn railway station, and then I cross the railway on a bridge and onto a short footpath which reached the lane, and then I began an ascent up in the lane, fairly steep in places, up towards the car park again. Plenty of parking area here for this forest walk. About 50 yards into this walk, and that's one of the industries in this area, is logging. They're doing a bit of work down there. There's a digger or one of those big shovels. There's a little bit of snow on the North Rinnogs there. It's the 7th of March, and we've had, well, the temperatures have dropped, so the winter's not over yet by any means. Here's a shot of Moel Hebog. A little bit of snow on the top. Of course, with this warm sunshine, that snow will disappear before long. I've only come about a quarter of a mile so far on this walk, but there's a good view there of Moelwyn Bach. Yeah, about 2,350, somewhere around 2,360 feet above sea level. I turn off this quiet lane here, which leads to the hamlet of Croser, about 3 miles further up, and turn onto this this forest track. Look at the size of that chain and padlock on this gate. They certainly don't want any unauthorized vehicles coming on these roads. The thing about walking on forest roads is that there are no steep ascents. They're all gradual ascents. Continuing on this gradual ascent, and as I gain altitude, the views towards the sea open up, the Irish Sea. Okay, there's the northern Rhinogs on some telescopic view. Snow on the top. Continue, and there's the outlook now, looking towards the coast, the Irish Sea. Logging in past years, you've got an excellent view of the well, the whole area. There's no actual bird song this yet. 7th of March. It's still a bit too early for the birds to start up. Wasn't too bad. I think this is now the high point on this walk. So it's I say one step at a time, and it's easy going. So now I haven't made up my mind yet whether to extend the walk, but if I don't extend it, it's all downhill, a gradual descent from now on. See up there, it's the ridge going up to the summit of Moelwyn Bach, which is quite a straightforward mountain to climb, a gradual ascent for the most part. Now this would be how the walk would have looked before all the logging operations in recent years. There wouldn't have been any views. Breaking out into the open again, and distant snow-capped mountains come into view. I can't put a name, can't be too sure what the names are. Of course, as you go further inland, there tends to be more snow on the mountains because it's colder away from the coast. And over there, those might be the Arrans, just under 3,000 feet above sea level. Yeah. Continuing on the descent, but if I turn around, look at that, an excellent view there of Moelwyn Bach. Yeah, I like that mountain. It's an excellent day for walking. The sun's quite warm, but the air temperature is quite cool. And there's another view there of the snow-capped northern Rhinogs. Look quite impressive when they're snow-covered. Such a nice walk. I'm going to extend this walk to take in a small lake and a view of the Fistiniog, the Vale of Fistiniog. Moelwyn Bach. That beautiful countryside. There's the lake down there, but that's not the lake I'll be passing. There's another lake just coming into view. And also, well, I won't focus in on it. You can just see part of the Transfinid nuclear power station. Okay. There's this lake coming into view. I'll have a short break here. I did bring half a flask of coffee with me, so I might as well have that now. And I was just looking for a place to have to sit down. Good view of the whole of Moelwyn Bach. The ascent route goes up from the left-hand side, a gradual climb up to the summit, and then you can descend by a mountain path down to a col. And then, well, depending where you start from, back to the car park. Up here a mini viewpoint looking over the Vale of Fistiniog. Someone's put a a little cairn here, and there's the Vale of Festiniog down there, and over there is the village of Llyn y Festiniog, and yeah, over there is a mountain that well, it's nearby Llyn y Festiniog, 2,166 feet above sea level, Moelwyn Bach. Okay, to distinguish it from Moelwyn Bach, you can't quite make it out maybe, on the left, and that does overlook the town of Llyn y Festiniog. Going to focus in on it. Yeah, here's the Trallsfynydd nuclear power station there. Yeah. Okay, this track I don't think is used too much by vehicular traffic unless motorbike scramblers come along here. So it's not kept up like the other forest roads are. Down there is the mountain village of Maentwrog, at the well, basically in the Vale of Festiniog, you could say, which goes up there towards Llyn y Festiniog. And this walk is probably, in some measure, better coming from the opposite direction to what I'm doing, because of the excellent views you have of Moelwyn Bach. Where the forest track, or not forest track, but the track ends, and goes into a footpath. This is not marked on the map as a footpath, but I've taken it, walked it several times before without a problem. Down this quite nice footpath, and approaching an access gate where I gain access to open fields. No problem at all. Nice little style there as well. Okay, so I think it's just a straightforward descent now down to that lane, but I might take another slight diversion a bit further along. Okay, I'm not quite sure. I think this is the way. Okay, after descending, well, at least 300 feet, I think, across this little stream. I think this is the outlet from that lake I passed earlier on. A little bit of rain, but it was only light rain, just for a few hours or so recently, but not enough to. No problem fording the stream. So this is where I take another slight diversion, go towards that gate, go through the gate, and a little footpath here that goes alongside of the Festiniog railway. There's the Tannibol railway station. It's not running this time of year, but Easter's coming up and it'll definitely be running then. Some work here. I think they've been doing work here all winter long. So I'll just go to the end bridge and then start climbing uphill again. The jobs they've done is put a new surface on the car park. Okay. So up these stairs and cross over. Alright, I'm back on this quiet lane, which leads to the hamlet, as I mentioned, the hamlet of Crosa, but also leads back to the car. But it's a bit of an uphill climb here back to the car, so one step at a time. that passed me just a couple of minutes ago is already well ahead. That's how slow I go. There's two walkers that I passed earlier on. Okay, I'm coming to the end of this walk now. My car should be just round the corner there. End of walk. Very nice walk, really. And, well, it's down to the weather conditions. Excellent. So, there's the car. Good walk.